there, this is Sharon Peterson with simplycanning.com, and I have another chat for you today. Today's question has to do with heating your jars before you're going to process them, before you're going to fill them. So this question comes from Cora. Cora asks, "Hi Sharon, I have yet another question. When you are heating your jars on your pressure canner before canning, how much water do you place in the bottom and how long do you heat them up? Or do you just place them in boiling water for a specific amount of time? Can this be done in a different pot?" Sorry, but that was more than one question, huh? So more than one question is fine. I don't mind that at all. And it was actually one big question. She's specifically asking about pressure canning, but this works for either water bath or pressure canning. So what I do is I just put the amount of water that I need in my canner and I heat it up to boiling, or I heat it up to just below boiling. It doesn't have to be boiling, but you want it hot. Put the jars in there, and you can put them in when the water is still cold. And you're going to just let them warm up. You're not really sterilizing your jars. Remember that sterilizing them ahead of time is not necessary. You do have to have them cleaned though. But as long as whatever you are processing gets processed for more than 10 minutes, sterilization is not necessary. So the whole goal is just to warm up the jars. Like with my pressure canner, I put my 3 quarts in there. I tend to turn my jars upside down so they're mouth down, and I just put them in my canner. Sometimes they want to float and they kind of fall over, and it's a little frustrating, I admit that, but it's still way easier than having a whole nother pot. So I put my jars in there. When everything is warmed up and my food is ready to go in the jars, I just take out a jar, put the food in there, and put it back in the canner. You can just do it in a separate pot if you'd like. You would just have a separate pot on your stove with hot water in it, and you're going to put your jars in there to warm up. The intent is to warm the jars. So to me, just having one pot to do all of it works the best. Just warm up the jars in the canner, and you save having that extra pot out. You got more space for work. You don't have extra things out on your counter. When you are using a water bath, of course the water bath canner, remember, has the rack that sits up on the sides. So you can just have those jars actually not even in the water. As long as the steam is getting up to them and warming them all up, then you can just have the rack on the sides of the canner. In order to tell, you just feel the jar. If they're hot, then you know that it's working. If your water's not hot enough to get steam up into those jars, you could lower the jars down into the water. Now there's a lot more water in a water bath than in the pressure canner, and so your jars may tend to jostle and fall over. That's why I like just leaving them up in the steam to make sure that they're warm. The whole goal is hot jars, hot food going into a hot canner. I hope that was helpful. You guys have a great day, and we will see you in the next Canning Chat video.